Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
She did say that if we ever met again, then that would be the universe. Yeah, the universe would be pushing us together.
Not half an hour later, they're both back at Serendipity again. What a serendipitous moment.
Right? See, and in that moment, I'd be like, okay, yeah, like, I get it. It's meant to be.
You call your boyfriend. Listen, I saw a guy twice in a coffee shop. That's a sign. We're done here.
Yes.
Explain that.
No.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And if you are joining us here, you probably love romantic comedies. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
Serendipity.
And before we get started, if you are listening to us on Spotify, make sure you subscribe so you're updated on new episodes. Apple Podcasts, you can follow us there. I think I switched those around. You subscribe on Apple Podcasts, you follow on Spotify, and also leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at Romcom Rewind. We've been getting so many messages. Thank you so much. We respond to literally every single person with your thoughts, feedback, suggestions. We love that. Allison messaged us asking a few different questions, but she said, Devin, how do I get my husband to watch rom-coms? I'll take any suggestions. You know what? This is a common question, Allison.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. I have a few thoughts, and we can go over that right now before we dive into this podcast of Serendipity. So first of all, what you need to understand about men is that we are creatures of habit. So you want to frame details around the movie. If you're trying to get your guy to watch a movie, frame details about the movie around things that he knows. You know, like No Strings Attached, for example. That is not a movie about Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman. Who is it? It's Kelso from That 70s Show, and it's Queen Amidala from Star Wars, okay? or like Crazy Stupid Love. Like, hey, remember that girl from Easy A and Zombieland? Yeah, she's in that, and she's in that with Michael Scott from The Office. That's how you frame things. Also, keep the story very, very vague, and just keep it to moments that you think we would enjoy. You know, what's Crazy Stupid Love about? I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure Ryan Gosling punches Kevin Bacon in the face. Hey, now my guy, I can get invested in that. What to expect when you're expecting sounds horrible, right? No.
I was going to say,
No.
That's a hard one to sell.
Here's how you sell it.
Okay.
Dennis Quaid goes on a car chase through a golf course and ends up flying through a Margaritaville into a pool.
That actually does make the movie sound really good.
That's all you got to do. Just frame it around one interesting moment to a male, and then they don't realize all the rest of the movie.
Yeah, kind of make it look like it's a man's man movie or like an action movie. And then you've sold them, you know? You've made it worth their while.
Yeah.
I like that.
So those are just a few easy suggestions.
Yeah, I really have to say you did a really good job with what to expect when you're... I'm like, how is he going to do this? This is literally about having a baby. All of them. The whole entire movie. There's even a dad's club. A dude's club.
The dude's club.
Like, there's no way that he can change this into something that men would want to watch. And you did. Good job.
You're welcome. Serendipity, though. This was actually supposed to be the Family Stone because we were doing Request Month, and we realized the Family Stone, I've actually never watched it before.
Me neither.
It's a holiday movie.
It is. So we will save it for the holiday season.
Yeah, we will do it.
Absolutely.
Felt a little weird doing it right now. So we had also gotten a lot of requests for Serendipity.
Tons.
So we decided to do that
tons.
one. It's a 2001 romantic comedy directed by Peter Chelsom. Grossed $77 million. I adored this movie when I first watched it. It's the serendipitous story.
Wow, that's a word.
That's one of the words that John Cusack uses in the movie, and it always kind of stuck with me.
Okay.
He's like the serendipity or serendipitousness of blah, blah, blah.
I love it.
It is called Serendipity, though. It's a story about Jonathan Traeger and Sarah Thomas. Jonathan Traeger is John Cusack. Sarah Thomas is Kate Beckinsale, and it starts 5 days before Christmas. We're in New York City. We were at Bloomingdale's, and there is one pair of these nice black silk gloves, and two hands grab the gloves. They each grab one of the pair of gloves. And we have a really sweet meet-cute between Sarah Thomas, Jonathan Traeger. And without giving away too much, they're both already in relationships. And the moral of the story is that John really wants to get Sarah's number so that, hey, in the event that the current relationships run their course, how do I get a hold of you?
Yeah, you're second best. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, the fact
you're my
that
backup plan.
I don't think she's the backup plan. I think he's realizing the actual girl that's not the one.
Completely agree. And
Yes.
I sat there thinking about that for a while. I was like, is she the backup plan or is she the first one? And he's gonna go home once he has her number and break up with his other girlfriend and try and call her.
Gonna break up
yeah,
with
yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Regardless, though, Sarah Thomas says no. She believes in the cosmic fate of the universe and decides after, a really sweet, 20 first minutes of the movie, they decide, okay, if destiny wants us to be together, we're gonna let destiny decide by writing Jonathan's phone number on a $5 bill and writing Sarah's phone number on the inside of a used book. Love in the time of
Cholera.
Yeah. And that's it. If these two items find it back to the people they're supposed to find, then you each have each other's phone numbers.
And full names, because at this point, he doesn't even know Sarah's name.
Yeah. Yeah. She gets in the elevator. She says, "My name's Sarah." And that's it. That's all he knows about her.
Is that how you would say my name if you were British?
If you were Kate Beckinsale pretending to be a Sarah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Sarah. Yeah.
It's Sarah. My name's Sarah.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this movie?
I'm sorry. Tell you what, buy me a cup of coffee, they're yours.
You really think I'm that easy? Do you believe in fate?
I never thought about it. Will you get me your phone number?
Don't think about it. Just say the first thing that pops into your head.
You have beautiful eyes.
Second thing that pops into your head.
You have beautiful eyes.
Come on now, stop it.
Is this a date yet? Just checking.
Favorite movie?
The correct answer is Cool Hand Luke.
Favorite sexual position? Favorite New York moment?
This one's climbing the charts.
I'm flattered.
Maybe you should give me your phone number. That was an accident.
There are no accidents.
This is wrong. You don't have the most incredible night of your life and then leave it all to chance, do you?
See this book?
I do.
Tonight when I get home, I'm going to write my name and number inside it. And then first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to sell it to a used bookstore.
What happens if I meet somebody before I find it?
You won't.
That's just crazy.
Hey,
The movie's good.
Sarah.
This is the second time I've seen it. The first was a really, really long time ago. I didn't remember any of it. Just bits and pieces here and there. It's a good movie. Not tons of comedy. More of a romantic movie, but overall good. I like that they made the movie around fate and destiny, and that the universe has a plan. Because I can't think of a movie that would do that off the top of my head again. Like, this is really the only movie that has this. I don't know if it's all true, but I like to think that it is. Do you, Devin, believe in fate or destiny?
I believe in it a little bit.
Okay.
I believe in it. Like, you still need to. She's in the wrong because she's just like way out to lunch with it.
Right.
But I think you create your own destiny, and fate sometimes throws you opportunities. You still need to grab it, though. She's just gonna let him walk out of her life. Fate was putting him there for you.
Yes. Yeah, and I think she as the character reads a lot into the signs. So, for example, she ends up writing her name down on a piece of paper and gives it to Jonathan. Jonathan grabs it, but just at that same point, I think it was a garbage truck drives by and causes, all this wind, and it blows out of her hand. She starts walking away. She's like, "I'm done. That was the universe telling me, nope, this isn't working out. We're not going to happen." And it's just like, you're going to walk away from something that could be potentially be so good just because it blew out of his, like, there's so many other elements that could be at play.
I mean, I'll be honest, the wind blowing it out of his hand, I thought, I don't know about that right
really?
there. Yeah.
Okay. I think we can make our own luck and destiny and fate. I don't think we should let it run our lives. I think she does just let fate or destiny guide her, and I think at times that can be destructive.
So the movie opens up 5 days till Christmas. Like I said, it's Bloomingdale's, and we have the meet cute.
Yes, yeah, that's actually my best scene. It's right off the bat.
So we have Sarah Thomas and Jonathan Traeger both reaching for the same pair of gloves. And that's just how the meet cute starts. They both like grab one half of the gloves and try to walk away. But it was a really interesting meet cute because they can't decide who gets them, so they put them back on the shelf, and immediately some random man.
Right.
Classic New York City is just like, well, these gloves are here, so they're mine now. And they're like, no, we're talking about it. And he's like, well, you can continue talking about it long after I have purchased them. And then they had to like spin this web of a strange story to convince him not to buy them.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think the writing in that scene was really, really well done because you truly believed them when they were talking to this man that they really needed these gloves. They needed them. And that he ended up saying, okay, he put them back and they were able to buy them.
It was kind of like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
You guys are weird.
You convinced me. This is a weird.
She brings him out to coffee.
Yes, they're at Serendipity 3, the restaurant.
Yes.
And they're having a frozen hot chocolate, which they're famous for. And at this point, Sarah still hasn't told him her name.
Yeah, we have no idea who Sarah is.
She knows who he is.
I like that scene, too, because I like movies that, man, maybe this is cheap comedy, but I like when they say the name of the movie in the movie.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Like in Definitely Maybe, when Isla Fisher's character responds to Ryan Reynolds and says, definitely maybe. And you're like, oh my God, there it is. She says, like, the coffee shop is serendipity. And she literally defines serendipity. Like, don't you love it? It's a happy accident.
It's her favorite word.
What a fun word to say. And I remember watching saying, I do like saying serendipity too. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
It is a cool word. Yeah. And yeah, so then he asks her for her number, and so that if life happens, that he can call her again. And so we kind of just we had briefly touched on that already, but I kind of find that weird that he would ask her for her number after meeting for, I think it was like just after the coffee thing, and she says no, but I don't know if I would ask somebody for their number.
Find it weird?
When I'm already with someone?
What if you're in a relationship and you know this isn't the one, and you meet this person? Wow, oh my God, they could be the one. Even though you're already in a relationship. Oh, I'd throw my number out there for sure.
Is it crazy to say that if we met again, then it would be meant to be? Whoa, that's crazy that I think that.
Wait, what do you mean?
That you wouldn't ask for their number, but if you were to meet them again or see them again, then that would be meant to be.
Is that how you feel about it?
Whoa, I think so.
Because I love how you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're really funny right now.
Because I would feel bad, like I'm with someone.
Well, Jonathan didn't feel very bad about it. He
did
get
not.
Her phone number.
He did not feel bad about it at all.
And then Sarah cuts it. She says, no, it's fine. Gets in a cab, goes away. She forgets the gloves.
Yes.
And he forgets his scarf.
She did say that if we ever met again, then that would be the universe. Yeah, the universe would be pushing us together.
Not half an hour later, they're both back at Serendipity again. What a serendipitous moment.
Right? See, and in that moment, I'd be like, okay, yeah, like, I get it. It's meant to be.
You call your boyfriend, listen, I saw a guy twice in a coffee shop. That's a sign. We're done here.
Yes.
Explain that.
No. It wouldn't be that easy. But at that point, I think like having such a good time with them, and I think you realize that you're not meant to be with that person who you are currently with. So you'd end it. And then if it just happened that you saw each other again, then you could try something with them.
Well, I've got a question. Have they technically gone on 2 dates at this point? because they go on
Kind of, yeah.
a date at the coffee shop, and then they're just like, yeah, let's go for a skate. What?
I know.
But I liked it, though.
I know, me too. I thought it was really cute.
It's really sweet.
It was a long meet cute. The longest meet cute ever.
And then we have Sarah Thomas's grand, strange plan.
Oh, yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. Oh, no, wait. Can we talk about in the skating area?
Yeah.
I think this is really romantic. I think stars in the sky, I don't know. I've always found them so cool and mysterious almost.
Stars.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
beautiful. And I just thought this was really romantic when Jonathan is talking to Sarah and sees a freckles on her arm and starts saying how they're in the exact same shape as Cassiopeia, the Cassiopeia constellation, and then goes in depth about the story about the constellation and Cassiopeia. And
All right, here's the story. A long time ago, in Ethiopia, there was this queen named Cassiopeia who thought she was the most beautiful woman in the entire world. And there wasn't anybody in the kingdom who wasn't offended by this woman's relentless vanity. And then one day she really screwed up and offended the gods. I don't remember what she did, and I don't remember who she offended, but it was bad. She crossed the line. But anyway, Poseidon, the sea god, punished Cassiopeia by placing her in the heavens upside down in her throne, stuck for eternity with her skirt around her shoulders and all the blood rushing to her head. And now she's just a constellation in the sky. Bunch of English freckles in the shape of a throne.
I just thought it was really, really cool and kind of romantic. Like, I've never seen that in another rom-com before.
Where they do a constellation on somebody's.
Well, that, but also just like the stars in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not your favorite part. I was going to ask you if you had a favorite constellation.
Really?
Because I have a favorite constellation.
Do you actually?
I do.
Can I tell you how many constellations I know off the top
Is it
of
the
my...
Big Dipper and the Little Dipper?
The Big Dipper, Little Dipper, and Cassiopeia, only because of this movie.
Stop.
I know there are other ones like Polaris, or I think there's like a
the North Star.
There's like a lion or a giraffe up there. I don't know.
I don't know if there's. I know there's a lion. It's a Leo. You're a Leo. Yeah. Okay. So you don't have a favorite.
You have
one.
a favorite constellation.
I do, because it's really easy to see in the night sky. It's not the North Star. And I just think it's really cool. I've always liked it. I really
Dipper.
like. No, it's not the Big Dipper. It's Orion's belt. Like Orion. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I've always liked it because it's so easy to see. You don't have to like. You can see it with the naked eye. Like you could look up in the sky and just see it. And there's always just something cool about it.
Same with the Big Dipper.
Classics
Classics for a reason, Sarah.
Classics are classic for a reason. I like that. Yeah.
And then, okay, so then Sarah
Yes.
brings us to... It's kind of strange.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So they decide we're going to put these two items out into the world. The $5 bill that has Jonathan Traeger's phone number on
In
it.
New York City.
And then she writes her phone number in this book.
Right.
But then here's the thing. So then Jonathan doesn't like this plan. He's like, no. There's got to be another way to test destiny.
Which is like such a man thing. Like, wants it now.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to allow this because he knows the probability of finding these things is ridiculous.
For sure. Absolutely.
We need a better sample size here. Let's test destiny a few times, to see what happens. And here's my question about this movie.
Yeah.
Is Destiny trying to get them together, or is Destiny trying to pull them apart?
Oh.
Because the next idea Sarah has is, let's go to this hotel,
Yes.
the Waldorf Astoria, right?
Mhm.
And we're both going to go in separate elevators. Don't tell each other what floor we're going to pick. Just pick a floor. They both pick the 23rd floor.
Yes.
I would say that is Destiny saying, yeah, smack them together. Let's do this. Let's make this relationship
completely
happen.
agree.
And then Destiny also throws a curveball and throws that kid in the elevator, because then a kid goes into Jonathan's elevator.
And here it is. See, you were right.
Go, buddy. We're going up here.
Oh, that's okay. Josh likes to ride either way. Don't you, Josh?
It hits all the goddamn buttons.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Actually, in that moment, I was like, rage.
Oh,
There was so much rage. I was like,
handle
oh my
your child.
God. You're going to have to stop at every single floor. Like, this is awful. This is terrible. I think there's certain things that it's not always going to be a straight path. Like, it's not always going to be easy. So you have to be able to jump over or through the obstacles that are in the way in order to get what you want. Like, it's kind of like, this is going to sound really nerdy, but like goal setting, you know?
Oh
like,
my God, are you serious
No,
right
no,
now?
but
You're
like-
bringing goals.
No, but like, I'm trying to think of like something that,
Welcome to the Zoom meeting, ladies and gentlemen, where we will be talking about objectives, goal setting, and
Stop.
quantifiable
No.
success plans.
but what I mean is like, everything's not going to be easy, because if it was, then like we would all be living in luxury.
So, okay.
I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain. I don't know how to explain it.
Fate
like,
can't make it easy all the time. Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, there has to be some obstacles that you have to overcome in order to get what you want.
So I would say there's two sides to this. It's fate trying to drive them together.
Right.
And I think there's some malevolent force trying to drive them apart because
There's a malevolent force now. Okay.
what costume was that kid wearing?
Oh, the devil.
He was the devil.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, think about it, Sarah.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Whoa. Whoa.
Isn't that
This just
interesting?
went like 100 times deeper.
Yeah, I know, right? I think that
Wow.
kid is the manifestation
We're
of
digging to the
maybe the
core
devil.
of it.
And he's trying to split them apart because he knows that fate wants them together. I think that's how it all plays out.
Oh my! You've just solved the entire
Solve the
movie.
The devil hates
And
you,
this
John
has
Cusack.
been-
And this has been Rom Country. So then, how much time passes? Obviously, they don't meet up at the 23rd floor, so Sarah thinks Destiny hates me.
Right? Yeah. And you know what? She was patient. She waited for
Waited
a
around
good
for a while.
while.
There were a few tears coming down.
There
She was
was.
emotional about it. So then, how much time goes by? 5 years?
So, this is in my quick facts.
Okay.
But I've read both. It's 5 or 7 years.
Oh, do they not say in the movie? They just, a time has passed?
Kind of, yeah. Like, so I originally read that it was 5 years, but then in the movie when they're talking about living with her old roommate,
Mignon.
yes. If you look at the time span for that, it's 7 years. So I don't know, but around that,
Interesting.
5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years go
Yeah.
by. Jonathan Traeger is still living in New York City, and he's engaged to Hallie.
Yes.
Sarah Thomas living in, I believe, L.A., and she is dating and soon to be engaged to this guy, Lars,
Yeah.
who's a
A musician.
yeah, he's like a
A flute player. No, it's not a flute, but
he's like a South Asian, like that's the type of music he plays, right?
Okay.
He's enigmatic.
Eclectic character, right? I think I can't see him and Sarah together.
No,
That helps. Like, they're just very. I would like to know how she ended up with him, because just cosmically, I don't think the universe would pull them together. It might have been a convenience
but
for
I
her.
think there was maybe a piece that she was in touch with her spirituality, maybe, and that was a tap in there.
Maybe.
But Jonathan is about to get married to Hallie.
Hallie, yes. I think it's like the week leading up to their wedding.
And this is kind of the driving force of the movie. You know, all this time has gone by, and he's at a driving range, and somebody calls out this name Sarah,
And she's English.
and then he's somewhere else, and somebody else is named Sarah.
They're having a dinner, and that's kind of when we find out that he's getting married to Hallie.
Right.
There's a dinner, and on his walk home that night, there's a man selling books on the street, and he stops to take a look to see if the book is there, and of course it is. There's no name in it, and he basically has gone to every bookstore. Would you do that? Like, do you think that it's all right that he still does this? He's engaged to somebody else. He's in love with someone else. Is this whole cosmic possibility or opportunity holding him back from moving on completely?
Yes.
Okay, I agree, because I think there's just that little piece of hope in the back of his mind that if he finds that book, then that's the universe telling him that it's not Hallie, it's this girl Sarah, and the universe is telling them that, like, now is the time.
Yeah. I was going to say this off the top, but I think this movie hits a little bit different watching it again. Like, I watched it probably in my late teens, early 20s for the first time, and I thought, wow, like, it was like the whimsy of this movie really caught me. wow, what a magical story.
Yeah.
How serendipitous. Now I watch this a little bit older, and I think, well, they're just emotionally cheating on everybody around them.
Yes.
Is that bad? That I'm like, hey, you know what? Sarah Thomas, sure, she's not supposed to end up with Lars, and I don't think Lars is too upset with it. He's very free-spirited. But I think about Hallie, and I think about Jonathan Traeger. He's emotionally cheating.
Yeah. And has he been the whole time?
I think so. I still love the movie. I still love how it all worked out. I'm happy that he, spoiler alert, ends up with Sarah Thomas. But yeah, there was just a piece of me that's like, oh, poor Hallie.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, and you know what? I also liked that Hallie was a good character. Like, she was going to invite these two, Eve and this random woman to her wedding the next day.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was always in the dark. This entire movie, Hallie was in the dark the entire time. And so on the flip side of this, so at the same time that Jonathan is telling his best friend about this girl named Sarah and blah, 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 Sarah gets home and finds rose petals on the floor and a big gift within a gift within a gift and candles lit. And she goes through the boxes and it's a ring box and there's no ring in it. But there's Lars saying you have to say yes first before you get the ring. And of course, she says yes, but the ring doesn't fit. And this is where I think the cosmic universe starts it up again with Sarah. I think this is the first time when she starts to see this cosmic pull again where the ring doesn't fit. And Lars even calls it out and says, Sarah, don't read into this. We'll get it resized. And she kind of just looks at it. She's kind of excited, but I think there's a piece of her that knows it's not the right fit. Get what I did there? Get it? Oh.
Wow. But also somebody comments that they're like, oh, didn't you want like a rounded ring or something like that?
Yes,
I think
or princess cut. Like, didn't you want that? And she's like, oh, like, I guess so. I don't know. That was when I was younger. Like, I have no idea what I want now. And then on the other side, back to Jonathan. He's getting ready for his wedding day, which again is in a few days. And
which is horrible.
Yeah, so he sees the Sarahs and the even the Bloomingdale's bag with the one glove in it, and he finds this receipt. And this is when he goes on a goose chase,
which I actually liked about this movie.
This was cool.
Is it like the simplicity of a man that I just like a movie with an objective? Like, yeah, okay, now we're gonna go over here and we got a receipt. Cool, we have a clue. It's a physical thing that I can see. And
do you like a mystery? I think maybe you like a mystery.
Maybe, but I think there's something very gratifying.
I kind of thought it was a the creepy.
Yeah. What?
Well, because I was like, you're gonna go and look at her. No, not the first step. The first step when he finds the receipt and goes to the Bloomingdale's, and that's when Eugene Levy's there, and
great part
he ends up having to. Oh yeah, I love him. He ends up having to buy the whole spring line in Bloomingdale's, and then he helps him, and then finds out that the account's not there, but that he can go to this warehouse and find a paper receipt. Which is wild.
Oh, a paper application.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it would have an
application.
address on it, right?
Yes, to a Bloomingdale's credit card, which would have an address. That's when I was like, okay. Whoa.
Really?
This is a lot.
I was like, hey, let's keep this train going.
Oh my God.
And both Dean and Jonathan were in the same boat. They were like, oh my God, okay, here's the next clue. Let's keep on going down this path.
I did like how they were having lots of fun with it. They were like, oh my God, yeah, okay. And then his best friend too, like, was all ready to go. Like, he was like, yes, let's do this. Oh my God, we got to find it. And like, they were very goal oriented. That is for sure.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And Eugene Levy was comically aggravating in the best way possible.
Oh yes, he you know who he reminded me of? Mr. Bean in The Holiday. No, not in The Holiday. Sorry, in Love Actually.
In Love Actually.
Yes, in Love Actually.
Yes, because they're both department store.
Yes.
Yeah. And Mr. Bean's like slowly wrapping. He's like putting rose petals in
aggravating
his bag.
in a different way. I think they're both.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
They both are having second thoughts.
Who? Jonathan
and Sarah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They're both having second thoughts.
You know, he goes to great lengths to find out who she is, and only really to continuously be disappointed. She's taking the weekend from being with Lars before they go on their big tour,
World tour.
and goes to NYC. I think, obviously, to see if she can find, or if the universe pulls them together. That's why she's going to New York. She wants to see if the universe will pull them together again. So they end up, Jonathan and Dean and, what's Eugene Levy's character's name?
No idea.
Eugene.
It's just Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Gotta love him. They end up going to this warehouse and they find a bill.
With an address on it.
Which is like insane amount of work to do that leading up to this. But yeah, they go to this address and it's her old roommate's place.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of finagling in between, but yeah. And he says that the placement agency or whatever is close to Serendipity 3 Cafe. And so they race there. She is there at that time.
That's right. So there are a few more cosmic coincidence things.
The rest of the movie is a whole cosmic coincidence.
Well, because before that, she goes to that driving range because somebody hits her with a flyer.
Right.
And it happens to be the place that he was at, hearing the name Sarah.
Yes.
Who hits her friend. Her friend gets hit in the head with a golf ball by his father-in-law.
Yes.
Hallie's dad is
God.
there hitting some golf balls the day before the wedding kind of thing. So yeah, there is all this cosmic coincidence that just pops up here and there. So yeah, they are meant to be together.
Yeah, and like Eve's not too happy about being there with Sarah to try and find this guy. She's a little bit like lunch bag let down.
That's a BS friend move for Sarah to drag you to New York City, and it's like, what are we going to go to the Empire State Building?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're just going to wander around looking for this man.
And pretend that it was like a birthday gift when really was it? No, not really. And I mean, she ends up getting on board, which is really nice. You got to have a BFF.
But you know what? Something significant happens in that scene at Serendipity Cafe.
Tell me.
Jonathan Traeger is ready to give up his journey because replaced by that roommate service thing is now a bridal store.
Yes, and he sees it as a sign that he should marry Hallie.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the exact same moment, Eve is in that coffee shop.
That's right.
Paying for their drinks.
Yes.
And she is given
the $5
bill with Jonathan Traeger's phone number on it.
Yep.
And nobody notices.
No.
Sarah doesn't notice. Eve doesn't notice that there's a phone number on it. They're
both crazily looking for each other without knowing the other is looking for them, which is kind of cool. I like that piece. That's really neat. But yeah, Dean says that if Sarah were here right now, what would she tell him? She would tell Jonathan to run to the Waldorf. And then Jonathan says maybe he was never supposed to know who she was at all. And then that's kind of when he's like, you know what, I'm just going to give up, go see Hallie, and kind of move on, or try to. They both kind of have that moment where they both do try to kind of move on, but the universe keeps pulling them together. I thought this was just too crazy that Eve and Hallie knew each other, and they run into each other at the Waldorf Astoria, getting out of the elevator, and she's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm getting married. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, you're getting married to the Jonathan.
To the Jonathan.
And she's like, do you want to come to the rehearsal? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no way. There's no way. What?
So the messed up thing about this is that Sarah meets Jonathan's fiance before she sees Jonathan again.
Yes.
Having no idea
I didn't even think about
that this is his fiance.
Yeah. Hallie knows something's up with Jonathan, talks to Jonathan, gives him his groom's gift, which...
What's this?
What do you think? It's a traditional groom's gift.
I got yours and I forgot to bring it.
I know. It's okay. I'll open it.
Is the book.
It's a first edition.
Book.
She said every time I go into a bookstore, you're always flipping through it. And I checked this week, you don't even have a copy.
There's Sarah Thomas and a phone number.
And he is like, this is the sign. Like, I have finally found it.
Jonathan and Dean, they're figuring out where this phone number is, and they decide we got to get on a flight. We got to fly to, I'm assuming, hours away to see Sarah.
Yes, to go to her, because he works, because Dean works for the New York Times, he calls in a favor to find out where she lives. Yeah. Which I feel like that's not a real thing. And they go to Sarah's house and they find her sister banging her husband or her boyfriend, but he thinks that it's her, so he leaves and realizes in that moment that the fact that he did that like the realization, which I mean, I don't know how long, like why it took him so long to realize this, but that he in fact is not in love with Hallie and shouldn't be with Hallie.
Well, there's a few moments leading up to that it speaks to the you should break it off with Hallie, because when they're in the plane, Dean reveals to Jonathan that his relationship is over. They're not living together anymore.
Right.
And Jonathan says, how's that possible? You guys seem great. And Dean says, it's because we didn't have enough of this. There wasn't any passion. The relationship just died. It's dead because we didn't. Yeah. We didn't want it enough, or whatever it is.
We let it slip away. That's the point. It died. We died. What was the cause of death? Not enough of all of this, and not enough.
So then Jonathan is kind of ending his journey and they're laying down. Dean says, maybe you're laying here because you don't want to be standing somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, that was a good line.
It's a great line.
I was like, whoa, this is good.
Yeah. Jeremy Piven, there's a few lines in this movie that he delivers so authentically. I loved his character.
And then, all of the signs, they both go to the place where they went skating, but at different times. They were always 5-10 minutes behind each other,
So what happens is that Jonathan, I guess, goes back to New York City, calls it off with Hallie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sarah was getting on a flight.
Yes.
And she realizes, oh my God, I accidentally swapped wallets with friggin' Eve.
Prado.
And yeah, it's a Prado bag, and she's trying to get headphones for the flight, and she hands them a $5 bill. The same $5 bill that Eve got in Serendipity 3, the coffee shop, the one that has Jonathan Traeger's phone number on it.
Yes.
She had the bill in her possession.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. That's this gentleman's change.
Jonathan.
Excuse me, I'm just... Jonathan.
And of course, she grabs it back from the chick, realizing what it is. She understands now. She goes to his apartment.
Yep.
And some people say, oh my God, you're going to miss the wedding. It's happening right this second. She drives back down to the Waldorf Astoria to find out Jonathan called it off in the last moment.
Yes, and the man cleaning up says that, oh, you'll get your present back. The wedding was called off this morning. She is ecstatic.
Here's something I find interesting. And I never really wrapped my head around this part of it until I rewatched it again. Because in this moment, Jonathan Traeger is resigned to defeat.
Yeah.
We as the audience, we see everything that's happening, and we know that Sarah is right around the next corner because she knows where he lives. She knows he called off the wedding.
Yeah.
She knows it might be about her. So eventually she's going to find him, right?
Which is wild that she would think that it's about him because, really, they don't even know. They've had no connection for 5 to 7 years.
Right.
How would she even think that it was remotely about her? Would I know? Right. You'd have to believe. Yeah. Seeing is believing. Thank you, Santa Claus. Thank you, Santa Claus, with Tim Allen. But, seeing is believing, right?
My favorite scene comes up here.
Okay.
It's one of the strangest things I've seen in a romantic comedy. I kind of want more movies to do it because I find it really interesting. Is that Dean writes Jonathan Traeger's obituary.
Yes.
And it's like an obituary of love.
Jonathan Traeger, prominent television producer for ESPN, died last night from complications of losing his soulmate and his fiancée. He was 35 years old. He was soft-spoken and obsessive. Traeger never looked the part of a hopeless romantic. But in the final days of his life, he revealed an unknown side of his psyche. This hidden quasi-Jungian persona surfaced during the Agatha Christie-like pursuit for his long-reputed soulmate, a woman whom he only spent a few precious hours with. Sadly, the protracted search ended late Saturday night in complete and utter failure.
It was really touching.
It was really well written. It was very good.
Extremely well written. Once again, Jeremy Piven.
He should be in more.
I was gonna say he did have an arc of there were
he did
5 or 6 years where he was like in everything, like kind of when Entourage was peaking and then coming back down. He was seemingly in all kinds of stuff, but he delivers the lines in this movie, especially the obituary monologue is, I guess, what I'll call it. So well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then where does Jonathan Traeger go? He just wanders off to
The skating.
To the skating rink.
The skating rink. And he's sitting on the bench, and at the same time, Sarah's seeing her friend off in a cab and says she's going to try to find him. Eve tells her to put a coat on because it's getting so cold. She realizes that she forgot it at the skating park, and Jonathan is sitting at that park at that bench and pulls the jacket from beside the bench. It was just like, I loved how it was all happening at the same time. He's in the park in the middle of the skating area, and then it starts to snow. Do you think it's snowing because that's when they first met? Do you think that's why they...
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I like that. Because
Yeah.
they met in the winter before
Right.
Christmas. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then, the other glove comes down from the sky, and it turns out, he turns around to see Sarah standing there, and then they just both start crying, and then they introduce each other, and then they kiss. It was really cute. It was a good ending.
It was a really sweet ending. It's a movie that wants you to believe in just the magical whimsy of the world, right?
And I think it does do a good job.
I was going to say, and by the end, you do feel, oh, wow, what a story.
What a good story.
It's like, it's like Hobbits, it's Lord of the Rings, it's Harry Potter. It's just there's something in the universe that you can't see, but you feel it, and it's at work sometimes. This movie feels like that.
Yeah, and then it fast forwards to a year later. They're in a department store making out, and they're married.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Isn't Eugene Levy there?
Eugene, their buddy, is there. Yep. They're talking about gloves again. Quick facts. The book Love in the Time of Cholera is mentioned in High Fidelity, another John Cusack movie. Speaking of repeats in John Cusack movies, in Serendipity, Jonathan tells Sarah that he can make out the constellation Cassiopeia from the freckles on her arm. In 1985's The Sure Thing, John's character points out the constellation Cassiopeia to his love interest, Allison. While the movie was on location in New York City, production posted the following note on the trailer to stop curious people passing by from asking questions. Yes, we are filming a movie. It is called Serendipity. It stars John Cusack and some girl from Britain that you wouldn't know, even if we told you her name. We will be shooting tonight until mid-morning. Please don't ask the crew any question. Even if they don't look like they're working, they are thinking. I thought that was so good. I loved that. Kate Beckinsale and Molly Shannon refused to use stunt doubles. They did all of their own stunts.
What stunts are they doing in this movie?
So that is a question that I had for myself. I don't know.
Perhaps Molly Shannon gets fake hit in the back of the head.
Oh, she does. You know
club.
what? I think that's probably it. I'm trying to think of what Kate Beckinsale did that would have warranted a stunt double. So let's ponder that one.
Yeah.
The table where Sarah and Jonathan drink their famous frozen hot chocolate has been called the Star Table at the Serendipity restaurant ever since the movie was released.
Wait, so the Serendipity restaurant really exists?
Yeah, like I said, Serendipity 3 restaurant.
Okay.
Yes, it does. The restaurant Serendipity 3 was actually popular before the movie was filmed there. After the movie's release, it did see an increase in visitors wanting to sit at the Star Table where the actors had sat. But it's been popular since it's opened in 1954.
Wow.
Andy Warhol to Salvador Dali, they've been there, and 2 other movies were shot there. 1996, One Fine Day, and 2006, Trust the Man. Stars are seen in the Manhattan sky at night. However, New York produces so much light that stars are invisible. And I did think that when I was watching it, I said, oh, there's no way that they'd be able to see those stars.
Right.
A 12 to 15 year gap was originally intended for the time between when Jonathan and Sarah first met and their eventual reunion. The characters were initially written as early 20s, but test audiences didn't believe that Kate and John were youthful enough to pull it off, and the script was rewritten to make the gap only 5 years. So like I said earlier, I have read that it was also a 7-year gap. So I'm going to say between 5 and 7 years. During the entire production of the movie, John and Kate only filmed for a few days together.
Wow. Well, that makes sense because the first 15 minutes of the movie is them together, and then they literally never see each other again
until the end.
Until the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, which is wild to think about because when you're watching the movie, it doesn't feel that way.
Well, the whole premise is them being together, but they're physically not
apart.
together.
Yeah, exactly. As far as weird crossover character arcs, in Serendipity, John Corbett, who plays Lars, and Bridget Moynihan, who plays Hallie, are engaged and later dumped by characters who then end up together. The same thing happens to John and Bridget's characters in HBO's Sex and the City, where John's character was engaged to Carrie and Bridget's was the wife of Mr. Big. I was trying to figure out where I knew her from.
Whoa, they were both in Sex and the
Yes.
City. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, and you know that John was also in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah. And To All the Boys.
Yeah, he was the father in To All the Boys.
Oh, I love him. Serendipity mentions specifically or contains reference to the following movies: Cool Hand Luke, The Godfather Parts 1 and 2, Bridges of Madison County, The Wizard of Oz, pull back the curtain, Peter Pan, Never Never Land, and Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. In the movie, both main characters, best friends, played by Jeremy Piven and Molly Shannon, say to themselves they should make pills for this, even though they never ever met in the movie. In 1997's Grosse Point Blank, John Cusack and Jeremy Piven co-starred as best friends from high school. They also co-starred together in 1986's One Crazy Summer. John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale only met once before filming. It was when John Cusack was filming High Fidelity, and the two met for a couple hours during an audition. And at the time, actually, Kate Beckinsale was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. The character Sarah was originally supposed to be American. Kate told The Telegraph that she auditioned for the part with an American accent. The director told her to try it with her English accent, and it was decided that they would have the character be English. Kate Beckinsale once recreated Serendipity's elevator scene while she was staying at the Fairmont Royal York Hotel in Toronto in 2018 while she was there for the Toronto Film Festival. She realized that it was the same elevator as in the movie, because this part was filmed in Toronto. She coerced the hotel's porter to play along, and she sort of reenacted the scene with them. She told this story in 2019 to Jimmy Fallon.
Wait, so the Waldorf Astoria, like the elevator scenes were shot in Toronto at the Fairmont.
Yeah, so so the movie was filmed in New York, New Jersey, and in Toronto, Canada.
Interesting.
Yeah. There is a Serendipity TV show in the works. In August 2019, it was announced that there was going to be a TV adaptation of the movie developed for NBC. Its premise will follow Harry and Claire, and they fall in love, but they're separated by circumstance and spend years trying to find one another.
Hold on, I'm still stuck on I've stayed at the Fairmont York in Toronto. I've been in the elevator.
Cool. Maybe you've been in that elevator.
The elevator.
Cool.
What?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. We've both done our best scenes.
Yes, we have. Yeah. Honorable mentions. Like I said, my honorable mentions are the best friends. They're just so good. And I kind of already said it. Like, they're their guides throughout the whole movie. So I think their characters were necessary, and they were casted fantastically. I love Molly Shannon. She's so funny. Jeremy Piven's awesome, too. I love it.
This is great. We're covering off all the characters because my honorable mention is Lars.
Oh, okay.
John Corbett. So you mentioned off the top that there wasn't a whole lot of comedy in this movie, and I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in terms of a rom-com, it's definitely more rom than com.
Yep.
He is the most hilarious character, though.
He is.
Specifically, there's a scene where she's deciding, hey, maybe I want to be going to New York City. Maybe I need a little bit of a break. He's sitting down with his manager, and they're watching a music video.
Oh, my God, yes.
And the music video is like there are Vikings.
It's awful.
It is awful, because there's this army of Vikings coming, and he's playing his flute thing.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how, like, so he's stopping them from invading with the music. Like, don't they want to be happy? It looks like it's hurting their eardrums. And the manager's like, no. Think of it as, like, mystic surrender is the wording he uses.
Mystic surrender.
And it's just the most self-absorbed, self-involved, hilarious. I really enjoy his character. Like, even when he shows up in New York City to see Sarah, she says, wow, like, how did you find me? And he's like, intuition.
Oh, my God, I know.
And then he's like, actually, I just called every single hotel until I found the one you were staying at.
And back to the music video, he's like, I want to be invited for for the dinner.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Part of the music video where he just walks away and he's like, why are they letting me walk away? I just saved them. Don't they want to do a feast with me or something
Yeah,
like
don't
that?
they want to do a feast for me? Like, I want to talk. I want to talk to the producer about me being invited to a dinner. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, really, Jeremy Piven's character would be my honorable mention, but Lars, I think Jeremy Piven already gets a lot of credit for what he did because he was amazing. Lars, though, John Corbett, nailed it. Which brings us to the what should have been.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of wish we knew more about them because we only get to see them the first 20 minutes of them going on this like cosmic universe date, and then it fast forwards 5 to 7 years and they're both getting married. We don't know what happened in between that. Like, I just wish we kind of knew a little bit more.
Right. My what should have been is that Lars should end up with somebody, right?
Oh, yes, okay.
So,
yeah.
I was thinking he's kind of, he's strange, he's spiritual, he's self-absorbed, but he probably thinks that he's, making some real serious differences in the world. Who does that feel like? That feels like Jenny from Always Be My Maybe.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Remember, she sleeps with Keanu Reeves just because she just thought it was so interesting. And she's so enamored by Keanu Reeves because why? I don't know. There's some cultural significance to him being a celebrity or
That's a
whatever
good
it is.
one.
She's one of those people who wants to change the world, but she'd prefer to post about changing the world on Facebook rather than actually changing the world.
That is very good.
Which probably feels sort of Lars-ish.
Fits in line with that, absolutely. I was going to say Alduous Snow from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
For her?
For him.
Okay, yeah, Aldous Snow. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready to go with rewatchability?
I am. My rewatchability is Chemistry 4, Storyline 5, Thirst Factor 3.5, Imagination 5, Soundtrack 2, Cheese 4.
Soundtrack 2?
Yeah.
There were some lovely songs in this.
Well, it didn't stick out for me.
I can't remember them, but I thought they were nice.
For an overall score out of 5 of 3.92. So that's pretty good.
My scores are Chemistry 4, Storyline 5, Thirst Factor 3, Imagination 4, Soundtrack 4, Cheese 3, for an overall score extremely close to yours of 3.8.
Ooh, okay. Pretty close.
Close.
So we're on par with this one.
Yeah. So this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of Serendipity. If you liked what you heard, you made it this far. You might as well subscribe at Apple Podcasts. In fact, you're right there. There's a little write a review button just underneath that. Hit that, write a lovely review. Subscribe or follow us on Spotify. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and we love to have conversations on there with you and, hear your thoughts and opinions. And yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.